Hey, what's going on, my nerds and collectors alike? We are back at it again. Today we are taking a look at the new Clone Wars wave, Anakin Skywalker, from the Target exclusive Clone Wars line. And this is for the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm. So, looking at the package here, it's actually very cool. If you guys remember the old Clone Wars cards back in like 2008, 2009, these are a very faithful recreation. You've got the blue visor back there. Actually, it says the Clone Wars right here on the bubble. The bubbles used to be a little bit smaller, so that way it fit. They even used the same image that they used to use for the old cards. So you've got Anakin Skywalker. You can see the rangefinder up there. Going to the back, you just have Lucasfilm 50th anniversary, and then you've got all the different Star Wars releases. No bio or anything. Warnings, legalese, not for children under 3 years, don't stick it in your mouth. There are actually package variations. I have the blue stripes on my package, whereas some packages are just plain white. So, don't know what that's about, but that's a thing. Bottom here, you just got your barcodes, unreadables, fun stuff. So let's go ahead, crack this guy open, and see what he's about. Alrighty, so with Anakin Skywalker out of the package here, let's get into looking at some details. You can see that he actually can hold his lightsaber with both hands, unlike the Revenge of the Sith variant of this figure. Looking at the face sculpt here, I find it very interesting. It looks like kind of like Hayden Christensen, but also kind of like the Clone Wars model. So I'm not sure if they could not get the rights to Hayden Christensen's likeness and kind of did a mix-up with the Clone Wars model, or maybe I'm just dumb and it does look a lot like Hayden Christensen. Either way, I like it. I think it looks really cool. He's got his scar there from Ventress. He's got fairly good detail in his hair. There's definitely a wash in there, which makes it look a lot better. You've got some dry brushing for the highlights. And the hair sculpt actually does not block articulation at all, so that's always a bonus. Getting down to his armor here, you can see that the leather portions of his armor are in a kind of glossier plastic with a matte finish on there, with some very nice sculpted detail. He's got the nice cloth undersuit, and then there's some soft goods underneath there for the skirt piece. And that undersuit comes up to his arms as well. On this shoulder, he has the Jedi symbol. On that shoulder, it is just blank. On his right arm here, you do have the glove, which this is the first glove that he had, so it is actually a little bit different than the later one, where it's a bit tighter and more black. He has brown highlights on there. Buckles on the back, very reminiscent of the first one. Is that a focus? There we go. The buckles are sculpted in fairly nicely. Would have been nice for a little bit of a silver paint to be applied there, but that's alright. He's got a pad on the back of his hand in case he needs to backhand some droids. And on this side, it's just more of a basic black glove, but it still looks pretty good. Looking to his belt here, he's got his different ration canisters, he's got a place for his lightsaber, various pouches, all that good utility belt goodness. These do seem to be the same boots that he wore in Revenge of the Sith. These might actually be the same legs for the Revenge of the Sith Anakin. I am not positive. These look to be the same Revenge of the Sith legs, but I do not actually have that figure, so I could be very wrong. And if I am, feel free to let me know down in the comments. Getting into articulation here, we will steal his lightsaber for just a moment. His head is on that the double dumbbell system that Hasbro has been implementing in the Black Series line for quite some time now. So he can tilt his head back that far. Look down a little bit better. and this is a nice soft overlay piece, so this doesn't really hinder anything at all. And then you have tilt and tilt. So that's very nice. His arms are on a 360, and these are the same style arms that you see on the newer Stormtroopers, where that shoulder piece is on a little disc inside that shoulder joint there. So that just follows it around. But his arms go 360, go out to 90. There is a butterfly joint that goes back that far. Forward a little bit less. But it's still enough for him to have a two-handed grip on his lightsaber, which is always good. There's a bend at the elbow that gets a little bit past 90. There's also a swivel at the elbow. Down to his hands, they hinge in and out, which I wish at least the right hand would have been an up and down hinge, considering he is a lightsaber wielder, but you get what you get. And his hands also do swivel. There is a diaphragm joint that is a little bit hindered. I think it might just be because of the thickness of the tunic, maybe working against the cloth. So you've got a little bit of crunch, a little bit back. Some better side. So there's still some movement in there, and you might be able to do some stuff with it, but it's a little bit hindered. He can kick forward all the way. He can kick back pretty far. He kicks out to the side, less than 45. And that's not due to the sculpt or anything hindering it at all. That is the leg, because this is a soft rubber on top of cloth, and it just doesn't kick out as far. So with both feet kicking, that's all he gets, which is a little disappointing. He does have a thigh swivel and double jointed knees, which is another reason why I am assuming that these are the reused Revenge of the Sith legs, because one, the kick out is kind of not great. They have the double jointed knees with the not very aesthetically pleasing knee bend. It's functional, but it's not what they've been using for a while now, so interesting. His ankles go back that far, kick forward that far, and he does have an ankle pivot. So articulation is a little bit hindered, but still enough to do with what you need. Mine actually does. Now he wants to spike me. There we go. So you see how mine leans forward just a little bit on his ankles there. What I'm going to do, I'll probably post an update at the end of the video, but I'm going to use some Kiki's Fix Loose Joints solution for action figures. You can get this on eBay or on Amazon. A couple of drops of this, leave it for 12 hours, move the joint, leave it for another 12 hours, and the joint should be perfectly tight with no issues. I've used it on quite a few of my figures so far, and it always works. Looking at his lightsaber here, we get a nice... Come on now, Anakin, you're the chosen one. Stand up. We get a nice vibrant blue blade, which this is actually, I believe, a new sculpt for the blade, so this does detach. And you can see there's a longer peg with only one small mushroom at the end there, and we do have a sculpted in divot, so that way it sits the correct way inside of his hilt. So it looks like we finally have a unique blade sculpt for the Skywalker hilt, which we have needed desperately for a while, because normally these blades just don't sit in there the right way. The color is very nice. It's actually kind of interesting how it feels. It's got a little bit of a matte texture to it instead of a more smooth texture. So that's interesting. And he fell down again. He gets to take a nap right now. Looking at the lightsaber here, we've got everything painted pretty nicely. You've got the red button there, Got your gold inlay on there next to the trigger. Nice red dot there. I do have a little bit of a red dot right there, but his hand covers it, so I'm not going to complain too much. Grip is painted black. And this can just attach to his belt. I like to give mine a good little tweet, or a good twist, but there he goes. Not an issue. So let's get into some comparisons for Anakin. Coming up first is his Padawan, Ahsoka Tano, in her Season 7 look, because that's the only Clone Wars look we have of her. And she stands about half a head shorter than he does now, but that is also her more mature look. Whereas this look for Anakin is he's a little bit younger in the war. So they still look pretty good together. Anakin is a fairly tall Jedi compared to most of his friends, so that looks very good. Get her out of here. Next up we have Count Dooku, which he dueled several times throughout the Clone Wars. Count Dooku is a good bit taller than he is, as he should be, because Count Dooku was a very, very tall man. Here is Anakin with his future self in Darth Vader, and you can see Darth Vader is quite a bit taller than he is. That is probably due to the cybernetics. And just for a little bit of fun here, we will compare him to the Black Series Bo-Katan, which even in her helmet, he is a head taller than she is. And just because, we'll have him with Boba Fett, because I actually don't have any clone troopers, and Boba Fett, as we all know, is a clone. So, there he is next to Boba Fett. Pretty good size. All in all, I think this figure is pretty cool. Did have some trouble picking these guys up, so do definitely be careful. I managed to get Anakin, and I managed to get Obi-Wan today, but Echo I did not have any luck with, so I will continue looking for him. All in all, I like the figure a lot. His articulation is hindered a little bit, but I don't mind that too much. He still gets into the poses that I want him to get into. He does only come with a lightsaber. Extra hands would always be appreciated, or different blade effects, or force effects, and all that good stuff, but a lightsaber is really all he needs. So all in all, I like him. I definitely think he was worth the pickup. Hope you guys enjoy. Stay safe. As promised, there's his ankles after I was done with him. I'm just doing a really quick update here. They're nice and tight now. No issues. He can stand just fine. See? There he goes.